Hello everybody, welcome to Break Remake. I'm your host Joan. Today I'm going to show you how to do this. I'm going to show you how to make vegan hazelnut chocolate spread. It's like Nutella, but it doesn't have palm oil and it's vegan. So you can treat yourself or your favorite vegan on Valentine's Day. I'm just following the Minimalist Baker's recipe for this, and I'll put a link below. I'm super faithful to her recipe, but there's some trial and error to get it like just right. What you want to do first is roast your hazelnuts. I got raw hazelnuts and I just roasted them on a shallow baking sheet. Now, you have to stay close to them and watch them. Well, you can't really watch them because they're in the oven. You have to smell them. It smells really good when you're roasting them, and then all of a sudden you can smell like a little burnt. They catch really easy, so stay close to them as they're cooking. And I would err on the side of taking them out too soon rather than taking them out too late. This is what they look like before they go into the oven, and this is what they look like after. You can see there's some char on some of the hazelnuts, but it kind of gives the spread a little bit of richness. Shake your hazelnuts off of your baking sheet and let them cool to the side. I let them cool for like 20 minutes, but you have hands and you can feel how soon you would like to touch them. If they're too hot, don't worry about it. Just let them cool for, more minutes. What you want to do is you want to massage the tea towel and kind of get the skins off of the hazelnuts. The less skins you have on the hazelnuts, the smoother it'll be, but don't spend forever trying to pick off every little thing. It's going to be just fine. Afterwards, you'll have quite a bit of skins left over. You can either compost those, or I think I'm going to use mine to do some dye work just to kind of see what color toasted hazelnut skins make. Dana used a blender to make her hazelnut spread, and I'm going to use a super powered food processor. But what if you don't have that? I'm going to test out using a hand blender, those little ones with just the cup, and see how it goes making it in there. I have two little blendery things. I have one that's more for grinding spices, and the other, or I guess it's originally for coffee, or the other one is for pulverizing for smoothies. I tried out both, and the one that pulverizes tends to work better. It did take a longer time to get the nuts to go from crumble to butter, and my little machine needed to take a few breaks. So I noticed it started smelling hot, or I needed to take it off and shake it around. So more of the goo got towards the blades. So it was a process, but it is totally doable. As you blend your hazelnuts, it's gonna sound so loud when you first start. But as you go, you'll be able to see it go from whole nuts to crumble to then liquefy. If you're using a food processor, it will get pushed up the side. What you want to do is grab your spatula and kind of scrape down the sides and then let it go again. It's kind of hard to explain, but there is a point at which it becomes butter. You have to listen for it because it's going to sound more like, and then it's going to go, which is all technical terms. But you'll hear it go from crummy to butter and smooth just as you're pulverizing everything. The only thing I change about this recipe is I do add a tablespoon of sugar to the chocolate to make it more sweety. And then I just melt my chocolate chips in the microwave because that's easier, but you can melt them however you want to, with a double boiler or whatever makes you happy. She does have a recipe to make it with cocoa, but I feel like it's richer in flavor if you use chocolate. Once the chocolate was melted, I added it to my nut butter in 2 sections. I think she tells you to do it that way. I actually don't know why I do it that way. I've been making this recipe kind of a lot because I did it for Christmas presents too. So now I just make it on autopilot. I was like, half now, blitz, half later, blitz. It smells delicious at this point, and you just want to stick your whole face in. If you use the full recipe, you get 2 little jam jars and a little extra, so you can give some away and then keep some for yourself, or you can just, put one at the back of the fridge and one towards the front of the fridge, and one's your right now jar and one's your later jar. For this recipe, you do use vanilla. I have a DIY on how to make your own homemade vanilla. If you follow this link, you can see how that's done. My dad and my sister really like to use my mom's to put in their soda to make vanilla Coke, which I think is sort of against the rules because I made it for bakers, but they specifically request I make it for them, so I can't get mad. We'll see you next time. Bye.